Guys, welcome back to my channel Education and Masti. So in this video I'm going to start a new subject, that is biology, and the topics that we are going to deal with are: today we will start with this chapter, cell, the unit of life. So we will do it in parts, and in this part 1 we will be discussing what is cell, discovery of cell, cell theory, and the three main points by three major scientists, and some facts about cells we will be knowing. So let's first start with what is cell. So basically we all know that cell is the structural and functional unit of all living beings. So we know that it is the structural and functional unit of all living beings. So one thing we understand that cell is present in only living beings. It is not present in any non-living thing around us like books or anything else. Like every organ in our body, the skin, the brain, the muscle, or even the bone, it is mainly composed of cell. Everything, the living parts of our body, the hand, everything, the body parts are also made up of cells, and these cells combine to form tissues, which we will be knowing after studying cells. So cell is something which is a structural and functional unit, and it is combining to form an organ or any tissue. Every cell has its own life. Okay, some can be living for many days, and some can be living for many weeks also. So every cell has its own life. Old and weak cells in the body continuously die and are replaced by the new cells. So in our body, the cells, when they die, again they are replaced by the new cells. Okay, like for example, let me give you an example. You might have definitely heard about RBCs. If we are studying in class 9, that we definitely know RBCs and WBCs. What are these? RBCs is red blood cells and WBCs are white blood cells. So this is also one type of cell, right? So this one RBCs, they die after 120 days. Okay, after 120 days, what happens? They die. After 120 days, they die. And when they die, what happens? They are replaced by the new cells. Okay, they are replaced by the new cells. So if they will not be replaced by the new cells, what will happen? One day every cell will die, then we will also die, because if there will be no cells in our body, how will our body work? Because every organ is composed of cells. It is the smallest structure, which means it is the smallest thing, or we can say it is the smallest structure and functional unit of which the other parts are made up of. Okay, so whenever a cell dies, after that it is replaced and a new cell comes. Okay, like that only they keep their numbers. Most organism, including human body, start life as a single cell. Okay, and if you see any living organism, okay, any living organism, they start a life with a single cell. Okay, and this is very important. Every organism, every living organism, even humans, okay, every living organism, that is humans, start with a single cell. They start the life with a single cell, and that single cell is called zygote. Every living organism, here it is written, like most of them, some may not start with zygote, but most organism, including humans, they start life as a single cell, which is called the zygote. Okay, it is called zygote. This is very important. You have to remember this word zygote. The single cell, which is first present in the human body when it starts building in the womb of mother, that is zygote. From there only our life starts. So this is cell. And also we know that cell are very small. We cannot see it with our naked eyes. We need microscopes. So let me give you an information. I will try to make a video upon microscopes also. So let me give you a short information that the first microscope was constructed by Dutch scientist named Antony van Leeuwenhoek. Okay, we will study about him. He has also discovered a living cell. So we will know about him. So I will make a detailed video upon microscope. So I will have to give you one information that it was first discovered, or you can say it was constructed by Antony van Leeuwenhoek. So I will be making a video on this also. So basically cells are very small, so we have to see them with microscope. And it is therefore natural that their existence could not be detected by man until any magnified object has been built. We would have not known cell existed if Antony van Leeuwenhoek couldn't have constructed this microscope. So we will study about this microscope in a detailed part. I will bring about the microscope. Now let's move to the discovery of cell. How did Robert Hooke discover cell? Who discovered cell? You know, the first person to discover cell was Robert Hooke. Now you don't get confused between Robert Hooke and Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. See, Robert Hooke was the first person who discovered cell, okay? But the cell which he discovered was a dead cell. So Robert Hooke discovered the first cell and he discovered a dead cell in an oak tree. He observed it in the bark. He did not saw the dead cell with his naked eyes, okay? He saw it with a microscope by achieving 2 times greater magnifications, okay? And when we are achieving 2 times greater magnification, it is called microscope, compound microscopes. I will definitely bring a video on this microscope because you have to know about it before studying cells. So cell was discovered by Robert Hooke first, but the cell he discovered was dead cell, and he discovered it with the help of a compound microscope. Microscope is a type of an object through which we can see very small particles like electron, neutron, proton, and even our blood samples are checked under this microscope for purification or for seeing what antigens are present in it. So, he was the first person to discover cell. But he discovered dead cell, and dead cell has no use. He discovered it in the bark of a tree, and bark, you know, it has dead cells only. Why? Because sclerenchyma is present in the bark. What do you understand by sclerenchyma? We will see that in tissue chapter. Let me give you a detail, a brief about sclerenchyma. These are also type of cells, we can say, which are composed of different types of cells, and we can say sclerenchyma tissues, which consist of dead cells and are present in the protective part of the plant. And protective part of the plant is bark. So bark has this sclerenchyma cells, which are dead cells. So he was the first person to discover cell, but later, Anthony van Leeuwenhoek discovered a living cell in pond water. Now, basically, we are living organisms and we don't have dead cells in our body. If there are dead cells, they are removed. So, living cells are present. So, until and unless living cells will not be present, we cannot identify the uses of it. So, Anthony van Leeuwenhoek discovered a living cell in pond water. Okay, he discovered a living cell in pond water. So, I hope the discovery of cell is clear to you. So, basically what we need to understand that we cannot see cell with our naked eyes, and we need a microscopic object to see it. Microscope, I will bring a video on this also, but first I will complete this topics. Now, discovery of cell, let me give you again one time that Robert Hooke discovered the first cell and he discovered a dead cell. Then Anthony van Leeuwenhoek discovered a living cell. Okay, he was the person who discovered a living cell as well as constructed the first microscope. Now let's move to the very important part of this chapter, which is cell theory. There we will know about three major points and three major scientists. Okay, now let's move on to that. The cell theory states three main points. So basically now we are going to see the cell theory. So this cell theory states three major points. So here these three major points are stated by three different botanists, geologists, or we can say scientists. So the first point is the cell is the smallest unit of structure of all living things. Basically, it is proposed by Matthias Skilden in 1838. Let me tell you this first point in detail first. So, in 1838, Matthias Skilden, as I told you, it is proposed by Matthias Skilden. He was a German botanist. He said that every plant is made up of a large number of cells, okay? And he also added to his statement that cells perform various life processes. As we already know what is cell, that cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of a living thing, and it performs various life processes. Everything is made up of cells in our body. The organs are combined from cells and they are formed. So cells also perform life processes. So this was told by Matthias Caledon. He was a German botanist. So in 1838, he stated one of the theory that the cell is the smallest unit of structure of living things. So in one time, we can say that it is the smallest structural unit of a living thing, we can say. Then the second theory, which was given by Theodore Scaven. It was stated by Theodore Scaven in between 1838 and 1839. Between these 2 years only it was stated. So then this Theodore Scaven, he was a German zoologist. He made small discoveries including including the animals. What did Matthias Caledon did? He made discoveries in plants that they also have cells, and plants are made up of large number of cells. And Theodore Scaven, same thing he did with animals. Okay, he stated that the cell is the unit of function of all living things. Means cell is the functional unit. Okay, cell has many functions. As we already know, cell has many functions. So, one thing I want to clear here is Theodore Scaven, he declared that all animals and plants are composed of cells which serve as the units of structure and function. Matthias Caledon and Theodore Scaven both said that plants and animals have cells which are the structural and functional unit of all living things. First, Matthias Caledon said that plants are all made up of large number of cells and cells are the structural unit. Then Theodore Scaven said animals and plants both are made up of a large number of cells which are the functional unit of all living things, we can say. This was proposed by Theodore Scaven, and at the end we got that in 1839 this both scientists Matthias Caledon and Theodore Scaven proposed the cell theory in short. But later on in 1858 there was one more scientist named Rudolf Virchow. Virchow it is actually, I have written the wrong spelling here. It is Virchow. Okay, it is Rudolf Virchow. So Rudolf Virchow is the correct spelling. So this Rudolf Virchow discovered cells. Okay, it discovered that all cells arise from pre-existing cells. What does he means? That there are cells like as I've already told you, the first cell in almost all the living thing is zygote. Okay, and from this zygote only there were a number of cells, like 2 cells were formed, then 4 cells were formed, like this many cells were formed, and because of this only our body has a large number of cells. So therefore what Rudolf Virchow said, that all cells arise from the pre-existing cell. So the first cell was zygote. So what does he mean to say that all cells are arising from zygote, and then all cells, whatever the new cells like new RBCs come, they are all arise from the pre-existing RBCs. Okay, for example, if one RBC cell is dead, and for replacing it there would come one more RBC cell, one more cell it will come, and it would arise from the pre-existing RBC cell. Okay, it will arise from pre-existing RBC cells. So basically what he said, that all cells arise from pre-existing cell, means this is one cell, from this 2 cells arise, from this 4 cells arise, like that from one cell many cells are arised. So the new cells which are generated are all arised by the pre-existing cells, which are all pre-existing means which were already existed. It already existed, it is already present. Okay, it is already present. So this was the cell theory, which was stated by 3 botanists or zoologists or scientists, we can say: Matthias Caledon, Theodore Scaven, and Rudolf Virchow. So this was the 3 cell theories. So cell theory is a combination of these 3 major points, that is, cell is the smallest unit of structure of all living things. Cell is the unit of function of all living things. All cells arise from pre-existing cells. So basically, cell is the structural and functional unit of all living things, and all cells arise from pre-existing cells. So this is actually the meaning of cell theory. And I have also told you that when the cells die, they are replaced from the new cells. And most life starts as a single cell. As I told you, our life also started from a single cell named zygote. Okay, this single cell is zygote, from where our life started, and the cells were divided into. Now I will tell you some very interesting facts about cells. Some interesting facts about cells. So let me tell you some interesting facts about cells. So first let us see about human cells. So an average sized adult human constitutes approximately 37.2 trillion cells in the whole body. So there are about 37.2 trillion cells in the whole body. So there are a lot of cells. I already told you many cells die. Like I told you, RBCs die after 120 days or 121, like that. So if they keep on dying and new cells are not produced, then our body would lack cells. So when a cell dies, it is replaced by another cell. So in our body, there are 37.2 trillion cells. It's a very large number. Then there are 100 billion nerve cells in the human body. There are a lot of nerve cells in the human body. There is one more fact that the number of stars that are present in the Milky Way galaxies are less, and there are more number of nerve cells that are present in human brain. It means that there are a lot number of nerve cells present in human brain that the stars of the Milky Way galaxy. Means the stars which are present in the Milky Way galaxy are less, and the number of nerve cells in human brain are more. It's a fact. And our human brain has, or our human body has billions of nerve cells, and in brain only there are 100 billion nerve cells. Then 4 to 6 million red blood cells and 7,000 white blood cells per cubic millimeter of cube. Only for per cubic millimeter of cube there are this much millions of red blood cells and 7,000 of white blood cells. In our whole body we can calculate how could it be, how much it could be. So this is about an average human. Now let me tell you about some more facts, the smallest, longest and largest. So, the smallest cell in the world, it is the smallest cell in the world, it is bacteria. Okay, in the world it is, let me write here, in the world, smallest cell in the world is bacteria. And it is 0.3 to 5.0 micrometer. It is very small and we cannot see bacteria with our naked eyes. We need a microscope to see it because it is in micrometer. Then up to millimeter we can see, because millimeter is also different, like, but we can see it, we can measure it, but micrometer couldn't be measured, we have to see it through our microscope. Then red blood cells, it's about 7 micrometers in the human body. So the smallest, it is the smallest cell in the human body. Okay, smallest cell in the human body is RBCs. So RBCs are the smallest cell in human body. Okay, it is talking about smallest cell in the world is bacteria, and smallest cell in the human body is RBCs, which are about 7 micrometers. Then we have the longest cell. So the longest cell in the world is none other than the nerve cells, which are present in the human body. Okay, it is present in the HB, that is human body. So the longest cells are the nerve cells, which are present in human body and also in the human brain. Okay. So imagine a nerve that extends from our fingertip to the spinal cord inside your backbone. So the longest nerve cell we can imagine, that is when it is extending from a fingertip, from fingers to the backbone, okay, where spinal cord is present. That much long is one nerve cell, and that is the longest cell, the nerve cells present in the human body and human brain. Then the largest cells are the bird's egg, that is only ostrich egg we can count on, that it is the largest cell. Okay, ostrich egg is the largest cell. So eggs already we know, egg, just one egg. Let me draw a perfect, I don't, I mean, drawing is little bit harsh, but let me draw a perfect shape for egg. It could be some like this something. So this one egg is of one cell, this is one cell. Okay, that is not combined of thousand of cells. No, this egg is one single cell, it is one single cell. One egg is one single cell. Okay, one egg is one single cell. So ostrich egg, it is the largest single cell of the living world. Up to date, ostrich egg is the largest single cell. Okay, so actually the cell which is considered is not the whitish part. Okay, the cell which is considered is not the whitish part, is actually the yellowish part which is present inside the cell. So the yellowish part is the, we count it as the single cell. We count it as a single cell, and it is the largest part also. It is the largest part also of the, or we can say the largest cell. It is the largest single cell. We count it as a small yellow portion. The white of the egg and the eggshell are the extra parts. They are not counted. the white yolk which is present inside the egg, na, that is the single cell, and that is the largest part of the cell, and these are only one single cell. And when we count it on all birds, the ostrich egg is the largest egg in the world, and that is one cell. Okay, that egg is one cell. The yellowish part, the yolk is the largest single cell. So for today, this much only. In this part, I told you about the topics which I have told you: what is cell, discovery of cells, cell theory, some facts about cells. So in the next part, we are going to discuss about different things. So I will let you know in part 2. This is part 1. So thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, like this video. Also subscribe my channel and share this video with all your friends and family. Thanks for watching.